What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. As per usual, I'm your host, Damon Anthony. You know what we're going to do? We're going to talk sports and only sports, not any of the fluff, not any of the BS. Hey, listen, if it's your first time tuning in on YouTube, like and subscribe. Other than that, we are live on all streaming platforms. Come check us out. Emphasis on Sports. This is what we do. All right, let's get it going. First things first, let's talk about the NBA. So the NBA tonight, the in-season cup starts. Still don't all the way get it or understand it, but if it's what they want to do, who am I? Sure, I guess maybe some of these teams, gives them a chance to win a little extra money during the season. But all in all, it's just fluff to me. Like, why have a tournament? That's what the playoffs are for. I also don't like having play-ins. The whole 9 and 10 seed having a chance to be in the playoffs to me is kind of stupid. In my estimation, there's 16 teams already in the playoffs. That's enough. If you didn't make it to 8 in the regular season, take a vacation. Truly believe that. But small bits of news and notes around the association. Cleveland Cavaliers are 12-0. Nothing that anybody expected. I did expect them to have a pretty good season, but to start off 12-0 is fantastic. So big shout out to Kenny Atkinson. He has that team hitting on all cylinders. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell doing their thing. Evan Mobley definitely looks like he's stepping up. We know Jared Allen. We know what he does down low. But if this team keeps it up and continues to mold and gel, they could be a little scary. Other teams that are doing real good now in the East, there's really only one other team that has an above 500 record, and that's the Celtics at 9-2. Definitely expected that. The Celtics, they're going to be there. They're going to be staring at the end of this thing. Eastern Conference Finals against somebody. Maybe it's Cleveland. Just don't know. Now in the Western Conference, there's a lot better records there. The Thunder are leading the conference right now at 9-2. Followed behind the Suns, the Warriors, both 8-2. You got the Nuggets sitting at 7-3. Then the Rockets and Grizz both at 7-4. T-Wolves 6-4. Lakers 6-4. If the playoffs started today, just a regular 8 team, those would be your 8 teams. Clippers are sitting at 9. Kings are sitting at 10. Let's see how this works. Let's see how this goes. Still very early, way too early to call anybody anything or to say anybody is that great, except for the Celtics. Celtics are returning damn near everybody. We know what they are. We know that's going to be a damn good team. We absolutely know that. So let's just keep watching the NBA. It's going to continue to ramp up. For me, the NBA really gets into full swing February around the All-Star game. That's when you know what's going on. That's when you really can see who the players are, right? All right, so NFL, we've already wrapped up. We've wrapped up week 10, and there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of smoke out there, right? So let's run through these games that we saw on Sunday and then Monday. We talked about Thursday night game last week. So the Giants at Carolina Panthers. Carolina beat them in Germany 20-17. Now, this was my nobody cares game of the week. I still stand on that. I actually did get up and watch this game because who doesn't like football on a Sunday morning at 9:30? But this was a very ugly game. I'm going to say, things are looking a little scary on the Giants side. What's going to happen with Dayball? What's going to happen with Daniel Jones? Only time will tell, but this is definitely one of the league's worst teams. Right now, they're sitting there with the number 1 overall seed or number 1 draft pick for next year. They're probably going to stay with it because they're terrible. Then you have the Patriots beating the Bears 19-3. The Bears are about as discombobulated as can be because everything about them just doesn't look good. I thought that they were going to have a much better season when the season started, and they actually came out looking real good, but it's been a dumpster fire recently. Caleb Williams, he has no protection. He doesn't look good at all right now. He doesn't look NFL ready. Eberflus does not look like a solid coach. They just let go of their offensive coordinator today. And typically, one thing I notice is when coordinators get fired in the regular season, if the coach doesn't do well, they're going to be right behind him. Hey, Eberflus, man, got to get that team together and tighten up. One thing that really stood out that was real interesting to me was you had Caleb Williams laying on the ground, looking like he was shaking up a little bit, and a Patriot picked him up. Not his own guys, not his linemen, not any of that. Wow. On the Patriot side, hey, look, they beat up a good team. Congrats to Drake May. Congrats to the squad. That's just what that was. The next game up was Buffalo and Indy. Buffalo beat the Colts 30-20. Nothing unexpected. Buffalo looks like one of the top 5 teams in the league. Definitely one of the top 3 in the AFC. Josh Allen continues to play just good football. Bills look like they're ready to run up on Kansas City and try and take something down. On the other side, if you're the Colts, it might be time to just start Anthony Richardson. I mean, I get it. You know, Flacco, great story last year. It's good to have him in the building, but they're not playing well. So it's time to really start to develop your young quarterback. One thing I did see in that Carolina game, got to saw Bryce Young smile, which is not normal. So you know, we see that there is something going there. Maybe just a 2% development will take it. I think that's what needs to happen in Indianapolis. If not, they may just be a bad team for a couple years. Then we had the Kansas City Chiefs knocking off the Denver Broncos 16-14. Now this one came down to a missed field goal at the end of the game for Denver. They could have won that game. Kansas City just continues to look like a team that they know how to win. Sometimes they fall ass backwards into the win, but they still know how to win. And until someone knocks them down, they're who we think they are. 100%. Kansas City is reminding me eerily of some of those old Patriot teams where you look at and it's like, man, they should have lost this game, but they won. So Kansas City, they're trucking along. Got to give them the credit where it's due. Now on the Denver side, Denver's a team. I don't think anybody came in with the expectations that they're going to be a playoff team. If the season ended today, they would actually be in the playoffs. So kudos to Sean Payton. Kudos to Bo Nix. They're doing a damn good job. And they're going to continue to get better and better. They're going to give Kansas City a run over these next couple years. I kind of see that coming a little bit. All right, then the Saints knocked off the Falcons 20-17. I picked the Falcons. The Saints did look terrible, but one thing I didn't think about, fired their coach. A lot of times when a team fires their coach, they're inspired the next week to win, just to show how good they are. The Saints, they're not really good. They're going to lose a lot of games going down the stretch, but they pulled this one out. Atlanta, you know, there were a couple things here and there. I think Kirk Cousins on a check down at the very end of the game, time running out, makes no sense. Just go ahead and heave that thing down and hope for the best. Atlanta, I still think is going to be the cream of the crop in the NFC South. I think they're going to represent them in the playoffs. No problem saying that. They're a very solid team. They just came up short. Then we had the lovely 49ers off a bye, playing in Tampa Bay against the Bucks. They won 23-20. But let me tell you this, 49er fans, it's good to have McCaffrey back. It's good to get this W. Our special teams is horrible. Yes, I know Moody missed 3 field goals, which you never want that. But also we had that botched punt. That's the one area of our team that just needs to be better. The defense continues to play a pretty good game. I think having Christian McCaffrey back is going to get the offense flowing and open a little more. We're going to see a lot more open receivers, open targets down the field now that McCaffrey's there, because he got to key in on him. As a fan, I just would like to see George Kittle get that work a little more. I believe he may be this year the best tight end in the game. I know Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, they're doing great, but George is still George. So big win for San Francisco. Just got to keep going, because right now, you know, you're in second in the division. Arizona looks good. Got to knock them off. Then we had a game I was real excited to see. Had a crazy ending. Steelers went into Washington and won 28-27. Now this one, I totally could see Pittsburgh coming in and winning, but what I'm seeing out of Pittsburgh right now is actually kind of tough money for a lot of teams. Pittsburgh kind of has an offense now. They actually kind of have an offense. Russ is cooking. He looks actually good in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's one of those teams, if you're going to throw up 28 points, Pittsburgh scores 28, you might lose these games. They're going to be a tough out as things go. This Pittsburgh team looks better than Pittsburgh and really since Ben left. So Pittsburgh's they're going to roll. But the way that this game ended, oh my God. Hard snap count. Washington jumps off sides. Pittsburgh gets a first down. Let's go home. And obviously it was a rookie that jumped off sides. But these are the times when on the coaching side, on the coaching side, you got to do a better job here with your guys. I know sitting on my couch, Russell Wilson is going to try and hard count to pick up that penalty. Don't bite. Don't go for it. I still think Washington's a good team and they'll do pretty damn well. But this week, Pittsburgh did their thing and they are going to be scary. Big thing about Pittsburgh, though, the one thing that I think a lot of people are missing, they just wrapped up week 10. They are yet to play any division games. There's 8 weeks left in the season. 6 of those are going to be against division teams. If they could come out of that above 500, if they can come out of that 4-2, they're going to win that division and they're going to be a real tough out in the playoffs. But that means they're going to have Baltimore twice. They're going to have Cincy twice. They're going to have the Browns twice. And even though the Browns are terrible, they play their division foes real tough. So let's see what the Steelers have for us. Let's see what the Steelers have. All right, then we had Minnesota walking into Jacksonville and winning 12-7 on a super ugly game. Super ugly game. Minnesota's not looking like the team that started the season. To start the season, they look real good. They look like they could have been dangerous. They don't right now. It was good for them that they played Jacksonville, and Jacksonville is horrible. Jacksonville scoring the 7 points might have even been a surprise. This is one of those teams that I think there's going to be a shakeup in the offseason, one way or the other. We know that they re-signed Trevor Lawrence, so he's going to be there for a little bit. But who else is going to be there with him? On the Minnesota side, things are going to get sticky, Minnesota. You got the Packers. You got the Detroit Lions in your division. You got to do something. Right? Next game, the Los Angeles Chargers beat the Tennessee Titans 27-17. Definitely could see this coming because Tennessee also not a good team. But the Chargers, to me, they're not really a good team. They just capitalize on the weaknesses of the other team, which leans a little bit more towards coaching. But there's no way that I would think Will Levis is going to beat the Chargers. Just not going to happen. Just like the Broncos, though. If the season ended today, Chargers would be in the playoffs. That's a hell of a thing to say. Then we had the Philadelphia Eagles walk into the Dallas Cowboys and beat the shit out of them. 34-6. I mean, wow. Cowboys, I know that Dak's hurt. You're terrible. Philly, they did what they're supposed to do. If you're the better team, you come into Dallas, you beat the hell out of them, you move on. Dallas just looks like it's over. They're waiting for next season. There's a lot of excuses, a lot of complaining, a lot of bitching and moaning. Do better. That's all there is to it. Then we had the Arizona Cardinals knock off the Jets 31-6. The Jets continue just to look like a mission gone awry. They just don't look good. Nothing about the Jets. We thought that their defense was going to be better. Nah, defense is terrible. Their offense is awful. Meanwhile, Arizona, they keep beating the team put in front of them. Arizona, they're leading the NFC West. Can't really say anything bad about them. I mean, the 49ers blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter against them earlier in the season. Arizona may be one of those teams that could shake it up and make a little noise there. There's nothing that says that they won't. Cardinals win 31-6. Now, Sunday night game was an absolutely crazy game. It was nuts. Detroit beat Houston 26-23, despite Jared Goff throwing 5 picks. I know. CJ Stroud threw a couple picks. But typically, when you throw 5 picks, you have no chance at winning. Well, a couple things happened there. MCDC did not pull Jared Goff. You threw a couple picks, you're still our guy. Let's either win or lose with you, right? And for me, as a football fan, I've been watching football damn near my whole life. Detroit looks like a team that is ready. They're ready. Because a lot of times when a quarterback throws 5 picks, it's over. Detroit kept clawing, kept scratching, and took them down. I know they have their rookie kicker, who that dude has a hell of a leg. Tied it up with one from 58 yards, won it with one from 52. Detroit looks like a team that they're not only are they going to be a tough out, but I think they should be favored in every game for the rest of the season. Yes, I know the 49ers have them at the end of December. The Lions should absolutely be favored. I will be at that game. I will be nervous about that game. But the Lions, they're definitely the best team in the NFC. I'm going to say they're the best team in the NFL once again. I know Kansas City is undefeated right now. That's cool. But in my life, I've seen some teams be undefeated kind of later into the season, and it just not work out. Detroit looks scary. Kansas City, they look like if you fuck up, they'll beat you. Detroit just looks like they're going to walk in your house and smack you around. So big shout out to the Lions. Really good team. Don't really have any notes. Nothing crazy to say about them. Detroit looks like the cream of the crop. Definite cream of the crop. Cream of the crop. I don't know how I said that wrong. Monday night game, last game of the week. You had the Dolphins beating the Rams 23-15. Now, for me, I did like this outcome because I do need the teams in the NFC West to start losing some games. But all in all, this was a dud of a game. It just was a dud of a game. I mean, the Rams, field goals everywhere. Dolphins, bunch of field goals, couple touchdowns. But neither one of these teams, to me, moved the needle. Dolphins, I don't think they're going to at all climb out of the AFC East. Bills have that wrapped up and have done way too well with that division to give it up at this point of the season. But Dolphins walked away with this victory. Now, moving forward, this is when I love it. This is for the NFL season. You're going to have so many games that are going to mean so much. Maybe with both teams, maybe with one team. This is also when you have those spoilers. This is when the games get a little sticky, get a little spooky. And I love it because I love sitting down and watching just ridiculous ass football, even if it's not my team. This week, we have some games out here, I will tell you. Right? So we'll start with Thursday, and I'm going to go over all these on the next pod, but just looking at the schedule, some games. Washington at Philly. That's going to be a hell of a game. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Atlanta at Denver. The Chiefs at the Bills. And then a game that, just for me, Seattle at San Francisco. This is going to be one hell of a football week. And I, for one, am absolutely here for it. Cannot wait to see what happens. Definitely going to be an interesting week of football. That being said, man, hey, look, be good or be good at it. Until next time, I will holler.